People pleasing doesn't come from out of nowhere. Usually it starts from early on in life. Maybe you grew up in a home where keeping the peace meant survival for you. Maybe you were taught, that being nice meant saying yes to everything or to everyone. Or maybe you were afraid of saying no because it would make people not like you. Whatever your reasonings are, people pleasing does not equal kindness. It's pretty much self-abandonment in disguise. That's literally it. And quite frankly, if you keep putting yourself last, you can't really be that surprised when the people around you start putting you last in their life. It's the law of correspondence. However we treat ourselves inwardly, our outward expression of reality is going to mirror that energy right back to us. So whether that's positive or negative, it's a back and forth energy. By the way, I do have a video explaining about the law of correspondence if you want to know a little bit more about it. I should have it either floating around somewhere up here or be in the description, or both. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So for the first part of any part of your healing journey, self-awareness is the first step that you kind of have to go through. So in order to figure out if you're in a people-pleasing cycle, there are usually a few telltale signs that will kind of let you know, so that you can kind of go from there. So if you say yes to things, even if you don't have like the time or energy for it, if you feel anxious or guilty about any sort of setting boundaries with anyone, if you avoid conflict at all costs, even if it's gonna end up in a bad way for you, or if you end up like sacrificing something for yourself, or even when you are in the need of something but you don't tell anybody you're in the need for something, but you expect them to kind of already know or see that you need help with whatever. So if any of those little tips or whatever actually resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, don't worry, you're not alone, and you can change. It's somewhat difficult. It can be somewhat difficult. Depends on you per se, but you can change. Okay, so now to the juicy parts. Boundaries. If you feel a little unease by hearing that term or whatnot, don't worry, I got you. Boundaries aren't about being mean to people. It's really about being clear of your intention. Boundaries pretty much tell people that this is how I deserve to be treated. And people that really care for you, that really love you, that are a part of your soul family, they're going to respect that. Pretty much. That's the gist of it. And that's how you know that they're supposed to be in your life. Okay, they're not going to have an issue with you setting boundaries. So I'm going to try to break this down into like 3 simple steps when it comes to actually setting boundaries with people. When someone asks for your time or your energy for whatever reason, pause. You owe no one an immediate reaction for anything, period. What you can do is one way that you can kind of bypass this, like them specifically asking you to do something right then and there. You can try saying something like, let me think about it, I'll get back to you. You know, something along those lines will kind of help you to figure out what your needs are first before you start jumping onto whatever they are needing you to do. One thing that kind of worked for me is I just came up with a bunch of different scenarios in my head of ways that people would try to, you know, get my energy or get my time asking me to do something for them, or, you know, whatever. And I just started trying to come up with different responses that I would be comfortable with saying in those particular situations. To me, it's good to kind of have a bunch of different responses on standby just in case. I don't like being caught off guard. I'm not sure about you, but I personally don't like being caught off guard. So I like to have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G to make sure I'm good in every which way. Overall, it just helps with you not being caught off guard and then feeling like you need to give an immediate yes under pressure. If setting boundaries like really freak you out, you can start small. I mean, that the best way is just kind of start small anyway. Saying things like, thanks for thinking of me, but I can't today. That's a great way to start. In that particular scenario, you're showing gratitude that they're, you know, giving effort into inviting you somewhere, but at the same time, you're asserting your boundary for whatever the reasoning may be. And quite frankly, the reasoning doesn't matter at all. Your peace, and your peace is more important. Your peace and your energy is more important at the end of the day. So earlier in one of the other steps or whatnot, I think it was the first one, I said that you will know who's in your soul family, your circle, who's supposed to be in your circle, if they actually respect your boundaries. Now we're going to talk about the people who don't respect your boundaries. You gotta expect pushback, because there's going to be those that do pushback. They're going to test you. They're going to try to confuse you. They're going to try to guilt trip you. But at the end of the day, it's your job to stay firm in whatever your boundary is. Because they're going to keep coming in all different directions. You can't stop that. You can't control that. But you need to prove that your energy and your time is a priority in your life. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a freaking affirmation somewhere down here. And I want you to say this out loud. You can write it down, you know, on a little sticky note, whatever you need to do. I am not responsible for how others react to my boundaries. And I'm going to come back with my plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where I say, come up with different responses for different ways that people can push back to whatever scenarios can come that you can think of. Just use your imagination, come up with whatever scenarios, good or bad, that you can think of, and the pushback that you can receive from that scenario from other people. Try coming up with some responses to come back to that. Just have responses on standby. I don't know how louder I can say this, but you gotta be prepared for everything. You gotta be prepared for everything. Overall, setting boundaries or learning how to set boundaries can be very magical for your life. I know it's a weird way to kind of say it, but overall, it literally can change your life all the way around once you actually start getting the hang of it. It pretty much will help with, instead of having people take advantage of you, you will have people around you who actually respect you. You get your time and your energy back to do whatever your heart desires to do in this world. And most importantly, you get your peace back. You get your peace of mind, you know, like, and that's priceless. If anybody who's actually ever lived a very peaceful life, or even a peaceful season of their life, you understand how valuable, how priceless having a peace of mind really is. If you don't take anything else from this video, I want you to understand this. Your worth is not tied to what you can do for other people. You are allowed to take up space in this world. You are allowed to say no. No is a complete sentence. And you're allowed to choose yourself without feeling guilt or shame. But overall, I think that's kind of like the gist of what I really wanted to say. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you want to continue learning more a little bit about personal growth and healing and everything like that, you know, I'm going to try to be more consistent with my video making on here. I also do have a shop that I'll put down in the description. It's called Pixie's Lair. And I have a lot of digital workbooks and ebooks and different things like that. Just tools that kind of help you with during this journey that I can kind of think of. I'll always be adding like more stuff to it and whatnot, but I have a few items on there. I also have a blog if you're more of a reader versus a visual person when it comes to learning this stuff. Yeah. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video.